What's up gamers, my name is Ark and this is Board Game Burger. Today we will be traveling back in time to the Middle Ages, establishing trade routes and attempting to become wealthy merchants. So let's taste and see if building a trade empire and becoming the Aelderman is as delicious as it sounds on this taste test. Aelderman can be played by 2 to 4 players. This game consists of 5 rounds, which have 3 phases. The first phase is preparation and production. Reset the player order, then reveal the new round indicator. This shows how much it costs to buy land and what resources you need in order to host a feast. Reshuffle and place period indicators. Receive any benefits from buildings you have built and pay the operating costs for those buildings. Gold buildings cost 2 and silver buildings cost 1. Following this phase comes the seed trading phase. In this phase, players will look at the period indicator. This shows how many action points they may spend during this time period. Players will then go in player order, spending all of their action points. Once all players have taken their turn, the next indicator is flipped and players continue taking turns spending action points until all 4 turns or periods are complete. The ways in which players spend action points is fairly straightforward. First things first, you must move your ship to a new city, then choose from one of the 6 possible actions. The actions and their costs are divided into columns. The first column costs 1 action point, the second column costs 2 action points, and the third column costs, no surprise, 3 action points. Note, you can only choose 1 action though in each column. There are a lot of actions and combinations of those actions, so rather than explaining all of them, we're going to focus on the main ones, like buying goods. To buy goods, you must spend the action points required, and if you spend 2 action points and you are in the green trade region, look at the sector that lines up with the green on the goods wheel located on your player board. Then, because you spent 2 action points, receive the goods in the second section from the center. If you see a crate, look at the top of the green and it will show you what the crate represents in this case. If you see a luxury good like spices or pelts, make sure the backgrounds match, otherwise you may not take them. To sell goods, you must travel to a city with this symbol. You may sell the goods on the bottom of the card and you must sell the depicted resources from left to right and you may not skip any. The rewards you receive for selling 4, 6, or 8 goods is listed on your player board. You can also purchase an improvement. To do this, pay the cost listed and take an improvement tile from the display. These are great and help you build your strategy for winning the game. Gaining and placing influence are very important elements to this game. To gain influence, look for this action on the player board. Spend the action points and gain the influence listed. There are many ways to gain influence by selling goods, holding feasts, and much more. When placing influence, you pay either 5 coins for 1 influence or 9 coins to place 2 influence. Place your influence on the banner from left to right and from top to bottom. If a row is filled, discard that action card and replace it with another one, drawn from the deck. Alternatively, a player may decide to spend an extra 5 coins to use one of those influence cubes to build a subsidy. There's only 1 spot on each city where a subsidy can be built, so act quickly, as these allow you to do the other city actions which you can do at Lubeck. Speaking of which, city actions do not cost action points and may be repeated. To perform these actions, you must first, once again, move your ship to Lubeck or a city where you have built a subsidy and spend at least 1 action point in that city. If you can't spend an action point or don't want to, you cannot move or take the city action. You might want to purchase some land. To do so, spend coins indicated on the current round card. Then place a land plot in your color in a city of your choosing. Or maybe you already had some land plots already out there and you're ready to pay those contractors to get to building. Consult your building overview to know what resources you need to pay. When you build a building, gain the benefits immediately, then place or increase the income marker matching that building as indicated, if there is one. For example, if you built a brewery, you will receive a beer income marker and place it on the first space on your player board. Now, during each production phase, you will receive a beer. You can increase this by building more breweries or upgrading the income marker through different actions at the different harbors. Another city action is to hold a feast. Spend the resources required by the round marker and receive the benefits. Or maybe you feel like fulfilling a council order. If you have completed one of these orders, take the card and receive the benefit. Do not replace the order with a new one. Once all players have completed their sea trade actions and city actions, spending all of their action points, the next period begins by revealing how many action points each player will receive. After all 4 periods are complete, comes the Council Hall phase. In this phase, players bid for awesome Council Hall cards with rewards or in-game points. Eddie likes in-game points. First players bid on the top row using their active influence tokens. The most tokens bid allows a player to pick a card first. If there's a tie, the player with the most money takes a card first. Go through the same process for the second row. You must bid at least 1 influence cube to participate. The amount of influence markers bid will, however, determine the player order in the next round. The player who bid the most will obviously go first, and so on. Once the last round is complete, it's time to count up those points. Players will gain points for having the most influence markers in the trading zones. The point values for each zone is listed on the main board. Then players receive points for having the most influence in each city. This is determined by the value of the buildings. Buildings with a gold border have a value of 2 and silver have a value of 1. Other buildings allow you to add influence cubes to them, which increases their value even beyond this. The points earned are listed in each city. Then players receive points for leftover influence markers, luxury goods, council votes, and council cards. Whoever has the most votes is the Aelderman. This game is a Euro merchant game lover's dream. This is 100% a Euro game that is not really for beginners and almost reaches an expert level. There are many elements to balance that give you points. I think that the art is decent and the bits aren't trying to trick you into getting a game you don't need by using Flash. But I'll say this, the city tiles themselves and the artwork on them are great. I also love that everything is double-sided for German and English speakers. And the element of gameplay that I enjoy the most is the area majority on land and at sea. The economy in this game is really driving these 2 factors. But if you find yourself behind with area majority somehow, there are plenty of council cards to bid on to secure you that victory. What I do also wish from this game is to see some more double layer action. Double layer boards would be extremely helpful in this game, and I would like to have the player boards a little bit bigger to fit some more of those income token advancement marker thingies in the little slots. But in any case, if you are a Eurogamer and love the merchant theme, this game is for you. And having lived in North Germany and been to many of these cities in this game, it's really cool to see them in action as the harbor cities they are. Also, insider tip, my family and I love the beaches at Lübeck, so if you ever get a chance to visit in the summer, you should definitely check it out. If you think this game is for you, use the link in the description to show them your support. Stay hungry, gamers, and I'll see you in the next video.